Yeah, you want some more of that? Ha! Have a taste of my cluster bombs! Andy Universe. Cluster bombs!
You don't belong on my NES. I grab your controller to show I'm the best.
So, I was in an electronics boutique recently, or what you young people would know as a GameStop, and I spent about 20 minutes in there sifting through the used games rack for PlayStation 2 games and GameCube games. I found some titles that I was kind of interested in. I was more just browsing just to see if I could find a deal on like a really rare game, but nothing really caught my eye. So I left the store after the 20 minutes of searching, and I realized that I didn't have a lot of fun looking for those games. And this gave me pause for a moment, because when I was younger, going to the GameStop was the highlight of going to the mall. It was the most fun I had in any store, because most of the time when I went in there, I was just going in to browse around and see what was new. But now, when I go in, I usually know exactly what I want, and it's usually something new, and I just go out and buy it, or I do one of these 20-minute salvaging sessions trying to find a rare deal on a rare game. Now, this gave me a moment to reflect. I was thinking, why is it that buying games just isn't as much fun for me anymore? And I didn't attribute it to the fact that I was older, because I'm still a gamer. In fact, I'm probably more of an avid and serious gamer now than I was when I was 12. Even though I probably played a greater quantity of games when I was 12, I play a far greater quality of game today. But upon thinking that, I came upon the crux of the situation. Quantity over quality. And I realized that's what the gaming industry has become. It's become a mass of games. Millions upon millions upon millions of titles. And the truth of the matter is, the vast majority of them are terrible. I mean, every once in a while, you'll find some obscure jewel in the myriad of crappy games out there. Some of these games are terribly popular, like the BioShock series, the Final Fantasy series, Star Ocean, Persona, Resident Evil. You know, all of these games are games that are popular, and they're bought often, and they're household names, and they're titles that readily come off the tongue of any gamer. And sometimes you wind up with these sleeper hit games, like Drakengard 2. If you don't know what I'm talking about with Drakengard 2, look it up, it's actually pretty good. But I digress, and I say that the majority of games that are put out there are crap. And before you say anything to the contrary on that, just think about it, okay? When was the last time a good Sonic game came out? Take your time. Exactly, that's my point. There haven't been any good Sonic games to come out since they remade the Dreamcast version on GameCube. And the same could be said for many other games as well. Final Fantasy XII was a huge disappointment. Sorry, Square Enix. I can't believe that the Legend of Zelda games are really high quality on the Game Boy Advance. Or whatever the highest version of Game Boy is. And I can't believe that Pokémon is holding on too strongly nowadays. My point is, the gaming industry has gone to the dogs. We've got a ton of really crappy games out there, poorly licensed games, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Barbie's Stable House, The Sims. Oh boy, I probably ticked off every Sims fan out there. I hope they don't make me into a Sim and kill me! The Left Behind books have been licensed for a video game. And all of the Nicktoons, they have Nicktoons Racing, SpongeBob Racing, I think they have a SpongeBob birthday game out there somewhere. I mean, enough is enough with these crappily licensed games. And another thing that I don't like seeing in game stores these days is the myriad of bad sports games out there. Okay, we get it, Madden is a huge deal, but why the heck do I have to sift through 5 years worth of Madden games just to find one decent RPG or shooter in the used games rack? Enough is enough. If the sports game is more than a year old, just chuck it. Nobody's going to buy it! So we have poor licensing driving down the gaming industry, but we also have really crappy developers driving down the gaming industry. And the number one example of a crappy development team I can think of for a video game franchise is Neversoft's Guitar Hero. You guys are awful. And in fact, if I was your team development leader, I would fire all of you. Now, why is that? I mean, Guitar Hero is one of the greatest franchises of rhythm gaming to come out, right? Well, it can still be screwed up by crappy development and hardware design. At this point, I would recommend that everybody who owns an Xbox 360 in the Guitar Hero series just turn this video off, because the rest of this doesn't pertain to you. But for those of you who use a PlayStation to play any of the Guitar Hero games that have come out since Neversoft has taken over, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's the fact that the crappy wireless controllers for Guitar Hero 3 and World Tour are just plain atrocious. You can be hitting every note absolutely perfectly, and yet every 15th note, the game will say you miss. And it's not that kind of miss that, okay, maybe you screwed up miss. No, you know you hit the note, you felt everything go perfect, and yet the game says that you miss. And in fact, when I first got Guitar Hero 3, I thought I was terrible. But then I went online and I found out that no, it's a pervasive problem with the Guitar Hero franchise on the PlayStation. The fact that the wireless guitar and drum controllers for the Guitar Hero series use these horrendous little dongles that plug into the USB ports, and therefore not utilizing the wireless interception capabilities of the PlayStation 3, unlike the Xbox 360 controllers, which function just fine according to my knowledge. But the fact remains that these dongles are bad. And it's exclusive to the Guitar Hero series, because the developers for Harmonix who work on Rock Band also use dongles for their wireless controllers, but yet these dongles work. I never see myself getting into an easy strum beat and then finding myself missing a note just because the dongle didn't read it. The dongles read just fine. But the Guitar Hero controllers are just plain terrible. Neversoft, what the heck is wrong? I mean, you're told to make a wireless controller for a rhythm game. Therefore, the detection on the wireless controller should be flawless. Otherwise, you'll wind up missing every 15th note or so. And it has been established that we have the technology to make this happen because Harmonix made practically flawless wireless guitars and drums. So why the heck can't you do that, Neversoft? And that's not even the huge problem. It's the fact that you made these wireless dongles with the horrific rhythm hit detection, and yet you marked them down as fine to release to the public. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You wouldn't release any controller for any system that always ignores every 15th button press you make. You wouldn't sell a keyboard that's missing the N key, or any other key for that matter. You don't sell a mouse that misregisters every 15th mouse click, so why would you try to release these horrendous controllers? I mean, you guys are awful. Neversoft, go back to your Tony Hawk games, because you clearly don't belong in Guitar Hero territory. Not only that, but you guys didn't even develop Guitar Hero. You got the Guitar Hero franchise as a gift from Harmonix, and they're still doing much better than you with Rock Band. So, Neversoft, just stop. Just give up. Just let the Guitar Hero franchise die and go off in a corner somewhere and play with your Atari or something like that. Actually, that may be too good for you, because Atari still had some quality games for its time! So to sum it all up, the gaming industry is going down the toilet, and it's dragging us gamers down with it. Because instead of going to gaming stores and sifting through a great inventory like we did 15 years ago, we have to sit through the muck and the myriad of pissant games out there just to find something worth playing. So there's your future, gamers. If you have a solution to this problem, I'd be happy to hear it.
Well, the devil finished John and said, well, you're pretty good, old son. Just sit down in that chair right there. Let me show you how it